Welcome back to Soul Reaver. As you can see, we are in a slightly different place than we left off last time, and this is because there's something that I forgot to do. But on a positive side, we are not going for once listen to the Elder God give directions, and more importantly, we're not gonna see that tunnel in the very beginning. But rest assured, in the next video that will be rectified. Zephon are so agile that even when stunned, they can dodge Raziel's attacks. I never actually stopped for a second to look at these murals that are in these rooms. But to be honest, I'm not exactly sure what exactly are they showing and what exactly are these were these people who built the silenced cathedral, worshipping with snakes and pterodactyls? I don't know. Still, as you can see, we are up to get... I completely butchered that, let me try again. We are about to get a health power up, but in order to do that, we are gonna have to solve, as you can see, a block puzzle. Basically, first we move the 4 blocks that are on the ground into their positions, and then the other 4 blocks fall down from the sky, from the ceiling, and then we have to move them back. Because Raziel, for all his strength, is not capable of simply breaking the glass and has to move a lot of heavy-ass blocks instead. Well, that's video game logic for you. Yeah, my thought process in this one isn't exactly the quickest. This is actually not as boring to watch. Well, it's not fun to watch, but it's kind of like watching a car crash in slow motion. You don't like it, but good luck stopping from watching that. Of course, that is only applicable to those of you who are actually looking at this right now and did not click the button. Honestly, making that button was more of a challenge than these block puzzles. But it took a lot less time. Yay! Okay, now let's finally get this upgrade and get on our way. Because Zephon's Keep is a lot more interesting than this. There is stuff to talk about, but I didn't want to do that during the puzzle because, well, I don't want to punish people for skipping block puzzles. Like, never am I gonna punish someone for that. And yeah, one thing about these portals and vampires is that often you will spawn in the physical realm right essentially inside of a vampire, and you'll have to basically jump away at that exact moment when you spawn in the physical realm, because otherwise you'll get hit and you'll lose the Reaver. And Zephon's Keep is far from being the only place where this happens. Now, as you can see, as we are getting higher up the tower, there's more and more sign. There are more and more signs of this infestation by Zephon. Kind of similar to aliens again, as in Xenomorphs. I'm not sure why I'm thinking about Xenomorphs so much. Still, that's how the tower essentially works, because Zephon is at the very top of the tower, and that is where we are getting. And as we progress further, as we go as we get to the third level of the tower, it's gonna basically be just full-blown Xenomorph crap. It's gonna be a hive, that's what it's called. Here we have to solve more puzzles that involve rather pipes and gas or steam, not sure what it is. But thankfully there will be no more block puzzles in this level. The puzzles that are to come are two identical puzzles. They are quite self-explanatory, and I have to note that I managed to somehow solve them both on literally the first try, even though I don't remember how to solve them. I got extremely lucky. Also, the hit collision on these things is very, very awkward. I was talking about, or well, I wasn't talking about, the thread was talking about the cut content from the game, and I just kind of mentioned it. I didn't even scratch the surface. But Zephon's Keep, or the Silence Cathedral rather, was supposed to be quite a bit bigger than it is now, because the game itself was supposed to be quite a bit bigger. I'm pretty sure that it cut out like maybe 30% of the game, if not more, in the final release, because their grasp of the designers turned out to be more than the game could handle. And the Silence Cathedral, to which we will not be returning, apart from, I think, a couple of power-ups later, much later, when I have the time and will to go back through this again. It was supposed to be a key location for the plot points that really never came to exist. Because originally, and this is not a spoiler because everyone knows that there are future Legacy of Kain games, originally Soul Reaver was supposed to end with Raziel basically wiping out vampires, and to do that he would have used the Silence Cathedral. He would have basically reactivated it as a weapon as it was originally planned to be. These plans for this story development, they never came to be. Whether for better or for worse, I honestly don't know, because on the one hand we got all the amazingness that were Soul Reaver 2 and Defiance, but on the other hand we never really got a proper conclusion to the series, which was originally planned in Soul Reaver. And again, with all the cut content, or with all the talk about cut content, I kinda can't help but mention the second Knights of the Old Republic, because Soul Reaver is actually quite similar to that in terms of how it is cut. It's obvious that there was a lot of love and effort put into the game, but in the end they just had to abruptly cut off a bunch of crap, and you have this weird configuration where you have a lot of attention to the details, but at the same time you have things that are cut so crudely that you just can't help but wonder, like, why did you keep it in there? Like, you could have simply cut out this room, you could have cut out this tunnel so that you would not confuse people who play this. Well, this is the room that is known as the Three Pipes room, and there are 3 pipes that will serve as the elevator to the final level. But first we need to activate it by, well, basically by routing the steam, or by turning it on. So it goes first to these pipes and then through them, and through that Raziel will use his wings to get up there. And this is gonna be the series of puzzles for this part of the Silence Cathedral, and as you can see, this is completely covered in webbing. And I realized that I should have first activated these switches, and now something fun is gonna happen. When I saw this, well, not when I saw this, but when I was playing through this during the recording, I just bursted in laughter there. And that's what these switches opened. since there are no more block puzzles here, this is the part where I begin to avoid all the Zephon because it honestly is no longer worth it to engage into conflict with them. This stumbling isn't actually me trying to figure out where to go, but me trying to decide where to go, because there are two switches which can be, well, two sort of kind of puzzles that are actually just switches that can be activated in any order, and yeah, I couldn't decide between them. Like the donkey between two equal stacks of... I cannot remember the word, right? Hay. The donkey with two stacks of hay. Jesus. No, they were clearly inspired by Alien. Like, it's obvious. Like, this is straight out of Aliens vs Predator 2. I mean the game, not the movie. The game. The game. I should LP that. Later. First I decided to see whether I would be able to defeat them with the Soul Reaver, but in the end, as soon as they hit me, I decided to say fuck it. And what we have here is actually the best block puzzle in the game. The great part about it is that there's two Zephon here who are interfering with this, but conveniently this place has two pipes that can be used as weapons. And then this happens. Unfortunately, the hitboxes, the collision detection for pretty much all the actions of Raziel are extremely janky here. I mean, in the entire game. The steam here is actually going through these two pipes that we, well, the parts of which we pushed back down when we came up the level in the very beginning of this level, of the level 3 of the tower. Normally, if they weren't pushed down, then the cutscene would have also included the steam flowing through them and not going anywhere, just dispersing into the air. But because I am lazy and I want to get over with this part as quickly as I can, I did that. And yes, this is the third pipe. How did I manage to actually land where I wanted from the very beginning is beyond me. I apologize for this cut here because I was just checking out if I have had my volumes set correctly, because dialogue is coming and I didn't want it to be quieter than the background sounds. And we are at level 4 of the Silence Cathedral, and as you can see, there is no brass to be seen, there is no stone to be seen, it's completely covered in webbing. And as soon as we activate the warp gate, we will actually meet Zephon himself, or itself, I guess, because it's really it at this point. And thank heaven that there is this warp gate here, the second warp gate, because otherwise this would have been a complete nightmare to navigate for the extra power-ups. Okay, let's meet the occupant of this building himself.
Prodigal son, there is no returning for you, Raziel.
Zephon, your visage becomes you. It's an appropriate reflection of your soul.
And you are not his handsome Raziel anymore. His precious firstborn son turned betrayer. You have missed so many changes, little Raziel. Look around you. See how the human's weapon of destruction has become my home. Indeed, my body. A cocoon of brick and granite from which to watch a pupating world.
A crevice in which to cower, only scuttling from the shadows to devour a victim already ensnared in your cowardly trap. But you've made the mistake of leaving me unbound, and it is you who must succumb to my will.
Will, instinct, reflex action. The insect mind finds little difference. I warn you, brother. As my stature has grown, so it is matched by my appetite. Step forward, morsel.
Well, this overgrown English-speaking xenomorph queen that's grown into a wall has about the threat level of a gummy bear. And I am not even talking the laxative ones, I'm talking about the regular high fructose corn syrup ones. I really like two things about this place. First, it is closed, the doors, the exits are closed by sphincters. Another thing that Prey, the game Prey, apparently copied from Soul Reaver. And the other thing is that Zephon is completely clueless. Because Milkaya and Kain, they realize that everything has gone to shit. Milkaya does not. I mean, Zephon does not, I'm sorry. He thinks that everything is great and that he is... yeah. Still, I find Milkaya to be funnier. This reminds me of the ghouls from Warcraft 3. He has kinda the same pattern of teeth. And the pre-devolution Zephon, according to Daniel Kabuko's art, is actually supposed to be quite handsome.
Consuming Zephon's apostate soul has bestowed on you a new gift. Like his vampire spawn, you're able to scale certain walls which are otherwise impassable, but only in the physical realm. In the spirit world, these insubstantial edifices will not support you. In the mountains beyond the pillars, Nosgoth's cataclysms have exposed an ancient crime. Endowed with Zephon's soul, you may now progress where your path was hitherto impeded.
Well, that was a cryptic piece of instructions. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.